think about Friends?
Friends?
Yeah, Friends.
The series Friends?
No, Friends. Friends.
France?
Yeah, France.
I love France.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome to TV Journal. The lower sixth class of our school went to England this holiday, where we experienced the Great Museum of London, Cambridge, as well as a full eco tour of rural England. What's more, we got the full experience of English everyday life with our host families in Colchester. And a big thanks to Lou for all the jingles he prepared for this show. One of the highlights of the trips was visiting the Imperial War Museum in Duxford near Cambridge, where we had the honour of seeing one of the planes that won the War of England and saved it from the Nazi invasion. Here's what Arthur, Amy, Tiffany and Marie collected from this awesome place.
Good morning, my foggy friends. Here is the British History session. No listening, dummies. This is a place to learn about the story of the great British aircraft and resistance against the Nazis. Let's start now. During this dark age, men and women rose against the fascist regime. Meanwhile, the French, as usual, proved their efficiency as a strategic genius. Indeed, they got invaded by the Germans. While British people fought for their lives, didn't you know about that? Well, stupid donkeys, she will enlighten you.
The Blitz is the name given by the British to German bombings. The population had to protect themselves against air attack and bombings with Anderson shelters and radars to spot the enemy. The British aircraft had the best plane, the Spitfire. And guess what? We saw one flying right over our heads at the Duxford. And we go to meet some friendly 100% British visitor to boats.
What do you think about France?
I love France.
Yeah.
The best people.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem.
And what do you think about this museum?
It's good, it's okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Did you learn many things of this?
Some things. I have a tank and I went to the museum to do some research and take photos.
Okay. Yeah.
But in France we have a house near Vimoutier and they have a tiger tank in Vimoutier. It's just coincidence, but it's good.
Yeah.
But no, I like France a lot.
Okay.
It's a good country.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Do you like the museum?
Yes, yeah.
And you? Yes,
Yes,
very good.
I was here when I was little,
When he was a small boy.
when I was 8.
Oh, okay.
And there wasn't a museum here then, they were just starting to land and set it up.
Okay.
So
Is
I've
it
come
English
back
family
43 years later.
Yes.
Very good. Do you like English food?
Yes.
Yes. Not McDonald's.
No.
Bacon.
Baker beats.
Bacon and beans, lovely.
Is that Bacon and beans.
Yeah.
Do they make you pack lunch?
Yes.
Is that a good sandwich?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
It's not enough for us, but
Just one sandwich?
Yes.
One pack of crisps?
Yes.
but
One piece of fruit?
Yes.
One yogurt?
no,
No.
Oh, no yogurt?
it's bread with one
One
cheese.
Oh,
Only
no,
one
just one cheese?
Yes.
Oh,
doing loads
you
of-
must say I'm hungry.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Oh, really?
Great.
It's not good.
Oh, thank you so
You're
much.
welcome. Enjoy.
One of the last flying Spitfires. Wow, what a thrill. Yet Cambridge has other gems in the school. While most of the courageous of us went punting on a very wet trip down the River Cam, others were rewarded with a comforting visit at the fudge factory, and some of us discovered two small but wonderful museums on Magdalene Street. Here's what Anaïs, Pauline, Anthony and Lou discovered.
On a rainy day, we were supposed to go painting, but because of this weather, some of us decided not to go for it.
So we needed to find something to do during this time, and we found 2 museums, one by chance, and that was a very good surprise. So these 2 museums were Kettler's Yard and Folks Museum. So let's do a short presentation of Kettler's Yard.
So Kettler's Yard was the house of a curator named Harold Stanley Head with his wife Ellen Schlapp. In the house there were many significant correspondences between the paintings and the furniture. As this lady explained to us.
Sorry.
So this is the piano, which because Helen was a pianist and she used to play here, and yet because in the house here everything is interconnected with one another. So this piece is like concrete that you see here. So there is a curve in this, and you can also connect with that curve in the figure. If you see it from this side, then you can better see that what I meant. So you see all the curves here are the same.
She also explained the original way the couple used to communicate.
Okay. So this was his wife's bedroom, and she was staying here, and because she was a very private person, and usually Jim used to open the house for 2 hours in the afternoon, but she just stayed here. She closed the door and stayed here and see that okay, when everybody has gone, and then she usually go out. So here is the communication thing they have. I'll just show you. So this is a small lid here. So if you have seen downstairs, so that was Jim's bedroom. So they usually communicate with this lid here. Yeah. Yeah.
So now, what we like the most?
The house, probably, for its atmosphere. It was very cozy and without much decoration. So because of white walls, we could see paintings better. And because of some green areas with plants and flowers, it was very relaxing. The decoration was simple but great.
We also like the several paintings by different painters, but especially 2 of them, which represented cities as Istanbul and Venice. The painter used the knife to paint them, so it was really interesting. And also, the colors were dark. The painting of Venice let shapes of gondolas appear. The house was like a huge gallery, which was really, really interesting to see.
So now let's do Anthony to a short presentation of Folks Museum.
Hi, now I will present you the Folk Museum, also known as Cambridge's Museum. It's located in an old house near the center of Cambridge. The exhibition we saw was composed of many objects that belong to some families of the town. The more interesting in that museum was that we were allowed to use many things. We had the right to play with the childhood section toys or to disguise ourselves. That was source of many funny memories.
And now for something completely different. Heading out of the towns and museums for a nice wander through England's rural landscapes, where we discovered Monarch Farm, a traditionally run farm set in Hilton, one of England's oldest registered villages, way back in times of Magna Carta. Then we had the privilege of climbing one of the only turbines open to public in the world. So let's listen to what Emil and Mal have to say about their discovery from the farm.
Yeah, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depends on where you are and when it is. So at Monarch Farm we got to meet Roland, who guided us around this farm, where he practices a special type of agriculture he calls traditional agriculture, which is similar to organic agriculture minus the label. Roland is a very friendly and passionate Berlin man who also gives lectures at university about conservative biology, This man is very careful about protecting the wildlife in the edges and that surround his fields, so the farm can be part of a wider ecosystem and respect natural cycles. At times it was a bit muddy too.
You will probably have loved to hear his interview if there had not been some silly French guys chatting next to the camera while we were recording him.
However, we got some nice pictures to make up for it. And we got to eat some nice goat's milk ice cream at the end of the visit too. It was really good, and if you have the occasion to go, I recommend it to you.
After our tiring days of roaming, we all look forward to the warmth of an English home. Some of us managed to interview our host parents on what they thought of us French people and our French way of life. These were gathered by Manon.
Hello, we interviewed our host families and some guys in Colchester, and as you will see, some have stereotypes about French people.
My typical impression or view of a French person when I was a young girl is quite a jolly one, of a French man cycling along with his garlic string round his neck and his stripy t-shirt, so it's quite a jolly one. But I can vouch for these boys, they do shower every day.
But there are also people who don't have any stereotypes about us.
Oh, this is on movie, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you got a stereotype?
Stereotypes
Stereotype.
about French people.
Me personally?
Yeah.
No?
No, we don't have.
No? You mean the man with the hat and the onions round the neck?
Yes, maybe.
No? No.
No stereotype?
Okay.
Sorry?
No stereotype?
No,
Anything?
no, not for me personally, because we like going to France. I like France, people, the culture.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks.
Thank you.
Oh, was that it?
Wow, what a bunch of welcoming people, huh? Now let's head off to London. We'll skip the touristy part of it to go to Shakespeare's Globe. Our tour would probably not have been the same without the amazing guide, introduced by Quentin, Juliette, Marie-Franca.
Hello everyone, we have visited the Shakespeare Globe Theatre located in London. The present building is an imitation of the original built in 1576. The original theatre was built in 1613 when Shakespeare used a canon in one of his plays called Hamlet. So we discovered that place for which Shakespeare wrote many of his greatest plays. Let's have an extract of the amazing tour we had.
And then walk off the stage. So it's all about the words, and that's what the rich are there. But the poor are standing. Look at them. But they paid 1 penny. 1 penny? 1,000 people can fit into this space. Un meal. So can you imagine? Sunshine, very hot, and they're all like this. They don't wash their clothes. Ever. Les vêtements. They have a bath twice a year. Les laver 3 par an. So they are smelly. Good news, you are all drinking beer. Yeah, even children. If you drink water in London, you will die. It's not sterile. So everybody drinks beer. What happens if you drink beer for 1 hour?
Ou alors ça dépend qui.
As you can see, our guide was a
born comedian. He was very funny. You have to know that playhouses really were a meeting point of every social class. It was 1 penny for being in front of the stage, 2 pence for being in a seat, and 3 pence for being sitting in a cushion. As in Shakespeare's times, a new cabaret theatre was open and it was illuminated with candles. He also said that before, all the roles were played by men, so imagine Juliet played by a man. Oh! Also for 1 penny we got this wonderful bracelet and contributed to financing the new playhouse.
While most of us went to England, a few decided to head to Spain for some reason. So let's hear them and tell them what they missed.
Hi Vincent. So you went to England? I knew you went to Spain. Why did you choose to go in Spain? Well, I wanted to practice a little more my Spanish because I actually think that we have a lot of English in the high school, but not many Spanish. So I wanted to speak a little more Spanish. And what about you? Oh, because I really found this country. And what did you like the most there? I liked the Spanish mentality because they are very open-minded and they are very funny too. I also liked a lot of things, like food, for example, chorizo and paella, etc. A lot of things. Did you eat any specialties in Spain? Yeah, I ate many specialties, but the things I prefer that was fish and chips, and that was fried fish with some French fries. And your family did welcome you well? Yep, it was an old woman. She was very, very nice. She was quite young in her head, and she was very friendly. And what about you? Oh, my family was very nice, and they had a little dog who was so friendly and cute. Nice. Good.
So last but not least, we had the chance to get a few words from some English speakers who managed to interview in several of our classes. So let's hear from them.
So now we are going to watch some interviews of Brits, Americans and Canadian people who live in Berry to know a little bit more about their vision of France and why they came to our beautiful country. Let's have a look.
What's your name?
My name's Maz.
Why and where did you come to live in France?
I came to live in France when I was 30 because I like France.
Where exactly do you live in France?
I live in a
No, in England, sorry.
In England?
Yeah.
Sure. I used to live near Canterbury in Kent. It's in South England.
What do you miss most about England?
My friends.
Can you define the English culture in 3 words? Please.
Can I describe English?
Culture.
Culture.
In 3 words.
In 3 words. Old. Boring. And that's it. 2 words.
What's your stereotypes about France?
What are French stereotypes? I don't know. I guess the man on the bike with the beret and the baguette under his arm and cheese.
Thank you.
Next, we will hear another British woman, Emma.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Emma. So I've got 3 questions for you.
Okay.
Why did you come to France?
I followed my partner 6 years ago and I decided to stay.
Okay. And what did you think of French people before?
I had quite a lot of stereotypical thoughts about them. They didn't shower, didn't shave, ate a lot of cheese.
What's that?
Maybe drank a little bit of wine with their cheese and always carried baguettes under their arm and wore stripy moustaches, berets.
Yeah.
I feel like quite a lot.
And has your opinion changed about French people while you've been here?
Yes, they're very nice. They don't smell because they do take showers and they do drink a lot of wine, but they don't carry baguettes under their arms all the time.
Okay, thank you.
We interviewed also our English assistant Katie. You have to see it.
Hi.
Hi.
Could you introduce yourself?
My name is Katie. I'm from Canada, and I'm the English assistant here at the Lycée.
What do you think about France?
I love France. It's much different from Canada in a lot of ways. The pace of life is different. I find here everyone's much more relaxed, and meal times are a big thing, so talking with your friends and your family. Whereas in Canada, everything is very fast-paced. You're always moving from one thing to the next, and you don't really sit down to eat with your friends or your family.
And before you came here, what were your impressions about France?
My impressions were that their food was incredible. The bread, the cheese, the wine, and also just about their way of life, that it was a much slower pace than Canada.
In 3 words, how can you describe the Canadian culture?
The Canadian culture, diverse, fast-paced, and friendly.
What do you prefer between France and Canada?
Which country do I prefer?
Yes.
I feel like I love them both differently. I love Canada because it's my home, but I love France, and I've had such a great year here. And I love the people and the culture and the landscape, and yeah, I love them. So I love them both, but differently.
Thank you so much, Katie.
Thank you.
Finally, 3 Americans told us about their life in France.
What's your name?
My name is Craig Johnson.
I'm Chris.
I'm Anne.
Where you come from?
I come from Vermont, which is a state in the northeast of the United States. And so does he. He's my son-in-law. Thank you very much.
And I come from Pennsylvania, but originally I was from the center of America, Ohio, 2 different states.
What are you doing in France?
Well, I'm really enjoying life. I'm here for the la bonne vie. It's a beautiful place, great wine, bread, cheese, all that good stuff. And it's just an excellent level of living here in France.
I think Craig might have said it all. I came for a little bit of an adventure to try to live more simply and off the land a little bit more and learn French.
I came to live in a 900-year-old house because we don't have old stones in the United States.
And what did you think about French people before you come here?
Well, I was fortunate to have a sabbatical as a professor in Paris for 5 months. So I was living with French people, although I know you think Parisians are a different species. But no, I have heard a lot of things about French people being rude, particularly the Parisians. It's not true, unless there's a rude American that begins the whole thing. So I was able to live with Parisians, French people, for quite a while, and I enjoyed it. I think they have a good sense of life, of living well, and they don't have the intense grasping for money that many Americans do. At least that was my feeling.
I was under the impression that the women didn't shave under their arms, and that the showers weren't a commonplace thing. But it's not true.
I don't know what to say because I first came to France when I was 15 and fell in love with it and always wanted to return. So I have no preconceived ideas.
What do you like the best in France? The thing you like
The most.
most? Yes. Thank you.
The weather.
The weather.
The weather's
The
pretty
weather. In Vermont, there's practically 9 months of winter.
It's very cold.
It's very, very cold.
Lots of snow.
Lots of snow.
Yep.
And it's very mild here compared to where we come from. And that's a good, what do we like? We like the countryside.
Food.
The food.
I like the French people. I really do. There's something innocent about you people, which we do not have so much of in America. Some Americans are okay, but I really prefer hanging out with French people.
Why?
I don't know. It's they're not American.
It's more of I think it's more of a relaxed feeling. It's not so busy all the time.
Not so urgent.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's less tension.
Americans don't stop to eat,
For example,
for example.
there's 24-hour stores on every corner in a lot of places.
You can get whatever you want whenever you want it. And here you have to think about it.
And have patience.
Have patience. Lots of patience in France.
How would you
No, go ahead.
Okay. How would you describe the American culture in 3 words?
I can do it in 2. What culture? No, seriously, we have been a country for only a couple hundred years. And everybody that came here was European for the most part to begin with, and now it's all mixed up. So we don't really have a culture per se. We have fast food, we have Hollywood, we have a lot of things that I don't think are particularly good, and we're exporting them to the rest of the world. And I think the French are guilty of maybe picking up a little bit too much of this American stuff, because your culture is wonderful, and it's very old, and it's very rich. It's so rich. Your history is just incredible. So I'm more convinced that we really don't have a culture now that I live here, because I see how deep things are here.
We have Indians.
Well, we have a
We have a heritage.
big mix of cultures.
Yeah.
Lots
And
of
the
different
Indians,
cultures.
we went in and pretty much destroyed and put on reservations and turned them alcoholic.
Right.
So that's not a good. That's not
No,
a good.
no,
yeah.
I agree.
So it was interesting to do this interview because we didn't expect this answer, and English people are so nice, and so bye-bye.
Thank you for watching. It's goodbye from us here in the studio, but I hope you'll stay for the live musical session performed by Lou, Emile, Carla and Maïfa.
Never know how much I love you. Never know how much I care. When you put your arms around me, I get a fever that's so hard to bear. You give me fever, you give me fever when you kiss me. Fever when you hold me tight. Fever, fever in the morning. Fever all through the night. Sun lights up the daytime. moon lights up the night. I light up when you call my name, and you know I'm gonna treat you right. You give me fever when you kiss me, fever when you hold me tight. Fever, fever in the morning, fever all through the night. Romeo laughed to Juliet, Juliet she felt the same.